Fished in the Caribbean. Yes, we have. We went over and did a show on the Starbright boat 2 years ago. We called it
Bimini Boys.
Bimini Boys. That was it. We went out in deep drop for a yellow eye snapper and caught my first big eye jack, I think it was. Sliced my hand on its tail because I thought it was like a Jack Crevalle. The thing had little razor blades on it. Didn't get to see me winch though. That was a good one.
What was that grouper you caught too? That funky looking grouper.
Forgot the grouper I caught on that show, but
oh.
caught a lot of fish down there. We just couldn't put them all in, but a lot of them made it into the bits and bites of that season, that show. Favorite fish I like to eat? Wow, hogfish ain't bad. And it all depends how you fish. I just fixed a bunch of cobia last night, and it was delicious. So it's as long as it's not super fishy tasting, I like it. I don't think there's a fish I don't like to eat. What's the lightest gear I'll use? I've used a 6.9. We got a 6.9 in our lineup with a 2500 and caught a 43-inch redfish on that one. So I know that little rod worked. Took a while to get it in, but we got it in. Have I ever hooked myself? That should be how many times have I ever hooked myself? Of course. I've only hooked 3 other people. My dad twice, my sister once, and Billy Henderson twice on a show. So I've been pretty good at that. Oh, I did hook my cameraman one time fly fishing in Bimini. You ever going to come back to New York to catch some stripers? I would love to, Chris. That striper fishing up there is neat. I want to come up there and do a big bluefin tuna sometime too, but that's hard to get set up. Ever handline a Goliath? No, we'll let we'll let Bo Johnson down there handline them Goliaths. I like my shoulders. Ever caught pompano on a fly? No, I haven't. I've done them on those 6.9s though. That's a lot of fun. Do you ever feel about closing a hog snapper in the Atlantic waters? I haven't really had much thought about the hog snapper in the Atlantic waters because I haven't caught it there. The only place I've ever done it was right off Tampa Bay here last year, and I had a ball doing that. So I don't have any comments on the one on the Atlantic side. Largest fish I've ever caught. Ooh, if sharks count, I caught about an 18-foot hammerhead shark right off Sebastian Inlet one time. Its dorsal fin was probably 4 feet high. It was a neat fish to catch, but it was a big fish. If it has to do with tarpon, I guess it would be that 180-plus pound tarpon I caught on fly that first year of the show.
Somebody's phone's beeping.
South Carolina fishing. Absolutely love South Carolina fishing. I'll actually be there this weekend. I'm headed up to Charleston. I'll be in Mount Pleasant for a Dix and Field and String grand opening. So any of you guys out there that happen to be in Charleston, come on out. They got some great deals.
You're leaving tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm actually starting to drive up tomorrow. I'll be there 11 to 4 on Friday or Thursday and Friday.
Thursday, Friday at the new Field and Stream store.
Who they say is going to be there with me?
Wild Bill. From Deadliest Catch.
That's it, Wild Bill from Deadliest Catch. Maybe I can talk him into doing a show. I talked to him 2 years ago at ICAST. He wanted to do a show.
He's already done a couple other shows.
We'll get somebody else in. Who would y'all want to see on a show?
Yeah.
There we go. That's something good for this thing, this live stuff. What would y'all want to see on a show?
Have you ever fished in Marco Island?
Yes, I have. Go see a show on YouTube called Mogan Man. We were fishing with Captain Glenn Andrews and aboard the Mary Kay, and that was the second biggest snook. Maybe it could have been the biggest snook on the show, but go check that one out. Mogan Man. North Carolina fishing. Did a show this year up there called Bulls in the Noose. I think somebody asked that earlier. Did lobsters bite fish hooks ever? Not that I know of, but I don't see why they wouldn't if you had a small enough hook, because they do eat little small pieces of meat. So if you had a little tiny hair hook, I'm sure you could catch one on hook and line. Someone from Wicked Tuna. I don't think we can get them sober enough. I don't know.
Who? Scott Martin's on there? Where? I don't see him.
South Africa. Yeah.
Oh, he would like to see Scott Martin
Oh,
on
I would
Lake
love
Okeechobee.
I did one of Scott Martin's shows with him 4 years ago. It was the challenge we caught. He caught a hat that said Adidas on it. You remember the old saying about Adidas? I said, all day I dream about snook. Giant Trevally.
Oh, he's asking about the prototype. There's the question.
S-curve offshore rod.
The prototype of Blair Wiggins.
I hope it's going to be out soon. I think it was at ICAST this year. I wasn't able to really get around and see, but it should have been at ICAST this year. So, which that means it should be available in stores hopefully by Christmas. So we'll see what happens there. But you talk about a meat stick, that thing. I mean, a 10-foot bull shark that Tony Melton caught with that thing, unbelievable, huh?
I call it the beast mode rod.
The beast mode rod, the meat stick.
No, your 8-footer's the meat stick.
Yeah. Well, phosphate trestle heading towards Boca Grande. Yes, I have, many years ago. I haven't been, I actually went through that trestle the other day and thought about the time that I did fish there. I was snook fishing at night there.
Was Ben Chancey fishing there?
I think, no.
That's where glass is.
Yeah, a lot of glass there.
Yep.
Come to South Africa. Would love to.
Fish with the guys on Chew on This. We already did.
Already did. Ben Chancey did a show with me about 2 years before he started his own show.
Suburban style.
Suburban style.
Great white.
He fell out of the boat.
He
Actually, he fell out of his own boat. That was funny.
Catfishing in the end zone.
Jive Turkey, I think the rods are going to be a 129 for the offshore, the big one that we used so much this year on the show. And I mean, I'd put anything from a 8,000, 9,000 size spinning reel on it, and you'd be able to handle, well, 10-foot bull sharks with ease.
Who was your idol fisherman as a kid?
Wow. Idle fisherman as a kid.
You fished with him.
Bill Dance was definitely an idol. Virgil Ward was definitely an idol. Dipping way back there. But I fished so much, and it was so rare that I saw people on TV. When I did, it was always a bass fishing show. So I really dug Mark Soson's show when he came out, and I actually, when I was a fishing guide, I don't know if it's any archive anywhere, if y'all could ever find it, or maybe if you bug Mark Soson enough, he might put it on his website. But I did a show with Mark Soson back when he was on TNN, and that was a thrill for me, fishing with Mark Soson. But to top it all off was the granddaddy of the fish gods ever, is Bill Dance. I mean, I've gotten to fish with him 3, 4, or 5 times now, and it's like stepping back in time and fishing with your granddad.
Search YouTube for Dancing with the Stars, our YouTube channel. It's a fantastic show.
Yeah, Dancing with the Stars. I don't know if you can hear Kevin or not,
Yeah.
But Dancing with the Stars is the name of the show that we did on YouTube. Check that out.
Someone asked if you ever caught striped bass or bluefish.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I caught my biggest bluefish in Port Canaveral. It was 26 pounds, and it was big. I don't know where these bluefish came in. It was one November. We had a big run of giant bluefish, and yeah, caught a giant one. And up in Block Island, caught a striper about 30-pound range. It was somewhere right around there. The water was getting kind of warm. It was 60 degrees, I think. It was still freezing for me, but the guide we were with said, they normally fight a lot harder. It's more like your redfish fight down there. And it was pretty neat. So yes, I have caught stripers and the big bluefish.
Mosquito Lagoon or Banana
One
River?
spot the rest of my life.
Ooh.
Woo. Well, if I could fish one spot the rest of my life. In the water. God, I don't know. Florida. If you're looking for a specific spot, I guess it would have to be where I grew up, in Indian River, Banana River, Mosquito Lagoon, because everything I've ever wanted to catch either migrates through there offshore or it lives inshore there. Bonefish, I guess, is about the only thing that doesn't go through there that we would like to regularly catch there. How do you like staying at River Palms? There's a story
Is that
there.
a loaded question? Is that Rufus?
Rufus showed me River Palm Cottages before it was River Palm Cottages, and I thought he was crazy going to turn this area into what he turned it into. And absolutely one of the most beautiful paradise spots in the world. I guess there's a new Wigonics word there, but it's one of the prettiest places you can stay, and you think you're out on a paradise island somewhere, and just 3 minutes away is metropolis of Stewart and what's just south of there, Jupiter.
Search our YouTube page for River Palm Cottages, and we flew the drone over the entire property. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Who's going to be the next guest? We're planning that right now for next year.
Yeah, this is our wrap up. We just finished filming the season finale right here on the set, our new trophy room. This is Blair's new trophy room set. We're inside, so we can shoot anytime. We can do a lot of tips, a lot of YouTube stuff. Certainly while we're doing this, we're going to get better mics and better cameras, and we're just trying this out to see what you guys think.
If I had to choose one rod for the rest of my life, it would have to be the 8-footer. Definitely 8-footer, because if I needed to, I could break it down and shorten it and make a good stick out of it if I need to. So definitely the 8-footer. James. Doing a pier fishing show. We've had quite a few requests for that, but being we're in skeeter boats, it's kind of hard to jump on a pier and do a show from a pier. I fished off piers when I was a kid. Caught my first triple tail off of Cape Canaveral pier. But no, haven't done any pier shows, and none on the horizon right now.
Brian is asking us to come up to Emerald Isle, North Carolina. The mullet run is starting. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Emerald Isle. Thank you, Jive Turkey.
You ever thought of doing a kids segment?
Yes, we have. That's what we're talking about for next year, so we'll see what happens.
I think there's a kids rod coming out, isn't there?
Yeah, there's gonna be a little flat Mogan blue kids rod coming out, so that's in the works. Maybe I spilt the beans too early on that, but that's lucky for y'all. Favorite lure for redfish? Once again, have to be the gold spoon. The Mogan spoon's one of my favorite lures. I found this teardrop design and put a trocar hook through it and a nice little red skirt, and it does very well for redfish. You can burn it across the flats, or work it super slow, or even jig it.
What about for trout? What do you recommend for trout?
We do the same Mogan spoon and a silver for trout, and the redfish will eat the silver one, but they're more readily to eat a gold one, just like a trout's more readily to eat a silver one.
I like that greenback Miradine too for trout.
Oh yeah. Greenback, the Miradine XL for trout, and I always like using bigger lures just because the smaller fish, if you get that little tiny Miradine, gets way back in their throat, it's the chances of that fish surviving after you're in there picking it out is real tough. So I like using bigger lures that'll also hook them more so in the outside or in the lips. God, this could go on all night, couldn't it?
That's what I say. Well, we can wrap it up here. It's 30 minutes. You've been on 30 minutes.
Oh, here we go. Favorite show I've ever done.
Uh-oh.
Wow. Yeah, nobody's ever asked that before. Wow. That's the question there. Favorite show I've ever done. There's been so many. There's just been so many.
16 years worth of shows.
I mean, it's tough to pick one. The first thing that comes to my mind would be the Amazon, just because I was in the middle of the Amazon jungle.
The trek to get there was crazy.
The trek to get there, and then the trek back, because it was kind of sketchy. But it was neat. That was one of my experiences that I'll never ever forget the rest of my life. But then you have Venice, Louisiana, where we've done shows out of there where we had the box full of 9 yellowfin tuna, like 20 dolphin blackfins. We couldn't get another fish in the box, And as we're leaving and mopping up the deck, my buddy Heavy's driving back to Venice Marine, and we got a 60-mile run. And I stopped and looked, and the other two guys that were mopping were just kind of doing this, and they stopped and looked. And as we were watching, any given time there were 300 yellowfin tuna in the air feeding, just all skying and jumping as far as you can see. And that's a memory that's burned into my memory bank that I'll never forget. Unbelievable stuff.
All right.
Guys, we're going to wrap it up. This was our first one. Check the website out. We will let you know when the next one's going to be. And thanks for tuning in. Sorry I didn't get everybody's questions, but they were coming in like rapid fire. Adios.